Hello, reacting video. Today we're going to take a look at a Pokemon that I really want to take a look at again. This is going to be Araquanid. This Pokemon was pretty damn decent, to be fair, in the last season of the Go Battle League, as it was one of the best counters for the Walrein meta, as it was able to resist all the Walrein moves, which made it so strong, as well as it also beat a lot of normal meta Pokemon like the Sableye could beat, I think, the Trevenant could beat, also something like the Azumarill even could beat because of the insane bulk plus Bug Bite. But yeah, this Pokemon even got to the World Championships and won them in the Senior Division. In the Master Division, I don't think they were anywhere close to that, but in the Senior Division, MEweedle won with Araquanid on his team, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so we kind of wanted to take a look today on how good this Pokemon going to be, as it kind of should have at least lost some potential, as we have way more Stunfisk nowadays, we have way more Noctowl nowadays, we don't have the... basically don't have the Walrein anymore, even though I already made a video about Walrein where I showcased that this thing is still super good, but it's just not common anymore for whatever reason. So basically this Pokemon seems to have no potential, but as you can see there, it still has. It still is pretty decent against most things in the meta, and I was pretty happy using it. I had a pretty decent run as well with this. I went way positive. I think I went 7-4 with this team, which is, in my opinion, pretty nice, and it's still definitely viable. So if you have one, you should definitely try out this team. This team is really nice. A little bit tricky against Azumarills, to be fair, but here, for example, we have, I think, someone running something along the line of Grassol, but I'm not sure what they're going to have in the back. We have our own Sableye now. We have one shield already from our lead against them, and we will be able to go for one foul play here, gonna get them low, and we can farm them all the way down with our Stunfisk, which is going to be nice. I hope that I can farm them down in time before they can get to another charge move. That would be important, as I really need the energy and I really don't want to get hit by another one, but we will be able to farm them down. We see the Victory Bell coming in. We will be able to basically shield up this Leaf Blade. We can go for one Rock Slide. This would knock them out at this range already, and it will knock them out. As we see a Sableye coming in, we can go for an Earthquake, and if they shield it, it's fine. If they don't shield it, it's fine. We have our Araquanid with a one shield advantage, which should be able to knock out this Sableye in the back, and we should have a pretty decent time. This one going just to forfeit here, because I know there was not a lot that they can do anymore. We will see a next opponent here with a Lantern in the lead. They're going to swap out immediately into a DSP with Quick Attack, which I found pretty interesting, and I also kind of wanted to showcase. But we have to see. We see here that they're also most likely going to run the Hyper Beam, so I'm going to shield this move up. Going to be the Hyper Beam as well. And we will see that we can go for more Bubble Beam damage here. Bubble Beam is super effective. Of course, doesn't do as much damage here, but it kind of debuffs the opponent's attack, which is more important here. As well as we will now be able to take this Hyper Beam pretty easily. And we are very bulky in general, plus the drop of the attack there. It helps a ton. We will be able to go for one Bug Buzz. We will knock out the Diggersby, and we see the Lantern coming back in. Sadly, this Lantern will have the move Spark, so they will be able to farm me all the way down, and they will be able to now have such a big advantage, which I cannot really deal with anymore. And yeah, they have a Surf now, they have another Surf now, they're at basically 100 energy. I wasn't really able to farm, like, swap out there anyway. And we see a Flygon in the back. Yes, and now it depends on if they bait or if they don't bait, and I was like, the likelihood of them baiting here is pretty slim. I'm pretty sure they would get to 2 moves anyway here, so why not? Yeah, never mind, they bait. And of course, at this point, I already lost. I thought of no-shielding the first one. I thought of, yeah, it just doesn't matter. It's a 50-50 chance. If I no-shield, I should most likely win if I bait correctly as well. If they go for the Earth Power there, and I no-shield, of course, I would just completely get destroyed, so it's a 50-50. We see a Noctowl against us here. I'm pretty sure this matchup got screwed by lag, but I'm not sure. Let's see. We will be able to take one move at least here. And at this point, I think my moves are kind of unaligned or something. Yeah, I unaligned there for half a turn, so this allows me to not get to the return, which means I have to shield this move up, and I cannot get basically the shield pressure there against them. I would have been able to get to the return without the half a second lag in the middle of it. But this is, of course, always in those scenarios where it really would have mattered, but thanks Niantic. We will be able at least to go into our Stunfisk now against this Noctowl, and we can get some extra energy, which should be nice as well. As we see the Shadow Ball coming through, we will be able to go for one Rock Slide now, and we will have at least a ton of energy after this one. I think around, I actually don't know, to be fair. We should have around 50 energy. I think a little more, even 59. But we will be able to go for the shield against the Shadow Ball, which is nice. We can go for the bait. I hope that they shield the bait. It's kind of important that they shield the bait. They don't shield the bait. That's kind of not what I wanted to see, but they can go for another move. It's going to be another Shadow Ball. I have to go for another charge move there, but they have the Azuma on the back anyway, which basically means to me, we most likely lost this game. There is no lot that I can do here, to be fair. I will be able to go for one Bug Buzz, get the defense drop, which is nice, and I can go for one debuffing move for the attack as well here, or the Bubble Beam will be able to lower the attack, but they have definitely play rough anyway. And never mind, they have Ice Beam. Interesting. I can swap into my Stunfisk now. Maybe I still have a chance. Please shield this Rock Slide because it would knock you out. They don't. And if they have Ice Beam, there's no way they're on Hydro Pump. Never mind. Yeah, interesting moveset. Like, I don't really see that often, to be fair. I usually just see Play Rough and Ice Beam, or Play Rough and the Hydro Pump, because you kind of want to deal with those Pokemon like the Medicham, like the Sableye, and you kind of need the Play Rough as well for the Mirror. So it's kind of weird to see like something like this, but I guess it's okay. We will be able to go for an Earthquake here, at least against this Lickitung, which is going to be a little bit better for us. And we can go for another one here. I actually kind of make a mistake here-ish, I'm not sure. But they're actually going to be able to get to another move here. I'm going to let this move go through. It's going to be a Power Whip. I will be able to go into my Sableye now, and they go into their Mandibuzz. Not the best way here to deal with it, to be fair, as we will see here that we will be able to go for one return. This return will do some nice damage, will do actually more than half of itself, which is cool. But of course, it's still not really a decent matchup. I'm going to have to shield up another time here, and we will see the foul play coming through. We also go for our own foul play now. And we will be able to go for we try to go for the Farm Down, but they actually swap into the Lickitung. We're going to go for our charge move here again, but we are not able to go for the full Farm Down with our fast moves here. We have to go into our Araquanid, and Araquanid will be able to farm them all the way down. As the Lickitung goes down here, they still have a shield advantage, which might be a little bit of a problem, as we see a Diggersby coming in. This time around, this Diggersby at least has the Mud Shot instead of the Quick Attack, which allows it now to get some more energy with instead of Quick Attack, but does do less damage here. I expected them that they want to swap out later, but they're gonna go now into the Mandibuzz, go for an Aerial Ace, basically get rid of the debuff. We can go for one Bubble Beam now. This Bubble Beam will be able to drop the attack again, and at this point of time, this battle goes on for quite a while. And what we can do here is we can go ahead, let this next move go through. It's actually going to be an Earthquake resisted, but we still actually survive it, even though it was an Earthquake. We were already basically in red. We will be able to go for one more Bubble Beam, and we can swap out into our Sableye. And we just basically throw some moves at them at this point of time. And they're going to let this move go through, because you see already on the top, the timer was there. And the timer was definitely something that they didn't really like there. Sadly, a hard wall for our team, basically for our elite at least, is the Obstagoon. Obstagoon and Scrafty both are pretty decent against Sableye as well. But for whatever reason, my opponent decided to go ahead and go into their Skarmory now against my Sableye instead of staying in. I guess they want to avoid the matchup against my elite. This is also the main reason why you really want to run the Galarian Stunfisk together with the Araquanid. There's not really a better call than those two together, as you will be able to basically get rid of those flying types with this Pokemon. We see the Obstagoon coming back in. Fine for us. We can go ahead and go for one return, get this thing low, but they of course still have one shield advantage. We can go ahead and go into our Araquanid, but now we get greeted by this Nidoqueen. What we can do here is we can let this first move go through. It's going to be an Earth Power. Of course, we're going to call it wrongly again, but with this, it doesn't KO us, and we can bait with Rock Slides here. They know that they would get farmed out anyway by our Araquanid. We can let the Poison Fang go through. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go for two Rock Slides here. We're going to rely fully on our Araquanid. We will be able to swap out into our Araquanid after this charge move as well here. And we're going to get this Nidoqueen pretty low, as we're going to get him low enough as well for our fast moves alone, I think here maybe even. But they're going to go ahead and go for two charge moves here. No, they're going to go for one charge move and now go into their Obstagoon. Going straight for the Night Slash. Going to do some nice damage, but not enough damage to really threaten me. They're going to go for the second one immediately afterwards. We're still going to keep our shield. We will go for the full farm down, and we're going to go for one Bug Buzz just because it's more funny to throw a resistant move than a super effective move, of course. So Bug Buzz coming through, easily going to be enough to knock out the opponent's Nidoqueen, and we will be able to take this game home. Next opponent here, we will see Stunfisk against the Altaria. Pretty decent matchup, of course, for us. They're going to stay in for whatever reason. I guess they are double weak to Stunfisk, which is at least not something that I would think is really nice for this kind of meta right now, because Stunfisk is basically everywhere. But we will be able to go for one more Rock Slide. We will get this thing pretty low, but they can go still for another Charge move if they want to. We can go for another Rock Slide here. We will get them even lower, and they swap into a Toxic Rogue. We will be able to farm up to one Earthquake and now go for the bait, hopefully get the shield, and we will be able to get the shield, which now allows us to go for our Sableye, which has a better advantage now than it had before. And we can just shield up a move here. But we're going to shield up the second move, as we're going to overfarm a little bit, so we can get to 2 moves against the potential save swap of the Altaria, as they still had a shield left there. We're going to go up to 100 energy straight. Gonna go for the foul play, and this will knock out the opponent's Toxic Rogue, as we see a Registeel coming in. Registeel is a little bit tricky to deal with this team, but it's still sometimes fine. We see the Altaria coming back in, and we're gonna go into our Araquanid because this thing has basically no use whatsoever for me. And I will be able to go ahead and go for one Bubble Beam here against this thing. This Bubble Beam will at least debuff them for the entire time. Now the lock on goes down from 1 damage to 1 damage. Amazing advantage here for me, but nevertheless, they're gonna go for one Zapkinen, and they're going to do undercharge it a lot so they can get more farm, which was a little bit too much, I think, as we will be able to go for more Bubble Beams. And again, we can kind of try to go for the Timeout win, which is something that I didn't really expect before I tried to play this team. But this Timeout win strategy actually can work a lot of times, just because you have the Bubble Beam on the one Pokemon, you have basically 3 very spammy Pokemon for you, and also a lot of bulkier Pokemon. But like this, it doesn't even matter, because I throw against my Sableye, I will be able to just go ahead and win this game like this already. We see a Deoxys in the lead, something I can really deal with my backline, but not really right now with my lead. But we will see an Altaria as a save swap, which is something that I really like to see, because this is one of the Pokemon that I, of course, have to get rid of before I can use my Araquanid to the full advantage here. But we will see that we can go for one more foul play. Let's see if they want to shield this move up as well. This foul play comes through, we'll get a shield, and can we get to the next one in time? Nope, we can't, as we will go for another shield here actually. Something that I maybe shouldn't have done, but I will be able to go for another one here. We either get more energy now with my lead, or they're going to let this move go through. They're going to let this move go through, and they reveal their final Pokemon, going to be the Nidoqueen. We can still reach a foul play, which is very, very important to be fair, as we will get this thing way lower if they wouldn't have shielded this already. But they're going to go ahead and go for one Earth Power now. Will nearly knock us out. They go into their Deoxys, but of course you see how much damage I do with the fast move here, just from the Araquanid alone. It's super effective, it's a one-turn move, and Deoxys defense has a very low HP stat, which means one-turn moves are just a little bit more effective against them. As you can see here, this thing goes down pretty fast, as I'm going to undercharge this move here. I cannot allow the opponent to get a lot of farm with their Nidoqueen, but I also cannot allow them to get more farm here with the opposing Deoxys, so I have to basically maneuver around it. Can go for an Earthquake now, and I still will be able to knock out the opponent's Nidoqueen. I think they were 1 move away for their Earth Power, so very close game there, very calculated as we go into the final game. Going to be a Bastion in the lead and a Trevenant as a save swap. We're going to see Pita here, which is not ideal. Maybe I should not try to see Pita in general here, as they're going to be able to go for the Shadow Ball in time, as we can still knock them out. But now we're kind of locked with our Sableye against their Bastardon, which is not the worst thing for us here right now. We will be able to go for another foul play. This foul play is gonna go and do some pretty decent damage. I might even be able to get a shield here back, I'm not sure. We will see. We can go for another foul play. This foul play coming through, this foul play going to get this thing pretty damn low, as we can go for another one here. This will get them even lower, but I don't think they need to shield here, and they don't need to shield, but they're going to show me their final Pokemon. And this one going to be tough. At least it's going to be the Razor Leaf version, because otherwise my Araquanid had basically no play whatsoever. But even now, like, I have to basically take those aerial aces. The opponent definitely has a flamethrower stored on the Bastion, so I cannot really use my shield here anyway, because it's a little bit more damage output, I think, than a Leaf Blade there. against Mega Lair and Stunfisk, so I have to basically let everything go through. They're going to go ahead and go for the farm down there, and I have to throw somewhere, but I also cannot throw when they go into their Bastion, so I have to just keep the patient there. I'm gonna go ahead and farm them all the way down. Now they drop their Bastion in, and I will be able to win this final game. So thanks for watching. Araquanid still definitely works. Can highly recommend you this team. Had a lot of fun. Was very decent to play. I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.